Welcome to the December Garden Calendar. In this episode, we will be getting ready for the Christmas holiday. We will take a look at caring for poinsettias and live Christmas trees. We will get out in the woods and look for holiday greenery as holiday home decor. We will talk a bit about feeding birds during the winter months. Also, we'll share a couple short segments on pruning, lawn care, and other tips this month. All this and more in the December Garden Calendar. Let's talk a little bit about caring for poinsettias. If red is the only color that comes to mind when you think of poinsettias, then it may be time for you to visit your local garden center. Today there are over 100 different varieties of poinsettias available in a range of colors including white, pink, rose, coral, salmon, and every tint of red, crimson, and scarlet imaginable. Poinsettias can be found with leaves edged and frosted in white and with petal-like bracts that are marbled, dusted, or splashed in multiple colors. Whether you stick with a traditional red variety this Christmas or try one of the newer color creations, the following tips will help you get the most out of your poinsettia this holiday season. First, let's look at selecting healthy plants. When picking out poinsettias, look for plants that have lots of dark green foliage from top to bottom. Plants that have yellowing lower leaves will not last as long as those whose lower leaves are still dark green. Also, look at the plant's bracts. These are the large, colorful leaves that resemble petals. Choose plants with bracts that are undamaged and brightly colored. Poinsettias dislike the cold and should be kept at temperatures above 50 degrees at all times. Once home, choose a location that is brightly lit and free from drafts. Plants kept in an area that stay between 55 and 75 degrees will look good the longest. Now let's look at poinsettia care. Poinsettias like to stay evenly moist, never completely dry or sitting in standing water. They're often displayed sitting in decorative foil coverings or ornamental containers that do not have drainage holes in the bottom. Be sure to take your poinsettia out of these types of decorative pots before watering. Water your poinsettia whenever the surface of the soil appears dry and the plant feels light when you lift it. The best way to water a poinsettia is to place it in a sink and add water until it begins to drip out the bottom of the pot. Allow the plant to remain in the sink until all extra water has drained out of the pot, and then place it back into its ornamental container. If your poinsettia is sitting in a container with a saucer underneath, pour out any extra water the saucer captures after watering. Also, there's very little need to fertilize poinsettias once you get them for the holidays. Also, despite common belief, poinsettias are not poisonous. This is just an urban legend. People with sensitive skin may develop a slight rash after coming in contact with the white sap produced in some parts of the poinsettia plants. So there you go. There's how to take care of your poinsettias. Enjoy them for this Christmas holiday season. Now for pruning for the month of December. You can prune your berry-producing plants if berries are desired in table arrangements over the holidays. Also, remove weed or undesirable trees or shrubs from your landscape at this time. Feeding wild birds during the winter. Would you like to attract more birds to feed around your home this winter? Or for the first time, would you like to feed them and enjoy their beauty and funny antics by viewing from inside your warm home? It is not that difficult. Listed here are some good tips on how to do so. Sunflower seeds attract most seed-eating birds. Birds that like to eat sunflower seed are chickadees, grosbeaks, cardinals, titmice, and finches. The larger white-striped sunflower seed is not the best option. The most attractive sunflower seed is the black oil type. This type of seed is usually presented in above-ground platform feeders or covered feeders. Thistle seed is good for attracting purple, house, and gold finches. Tube feeders and mesh feeders are the best for this type of seed. Feeds heavy in millet seed are best for attracting juncos, towhees, sparrows, and mourning doves. This feed should be spread directly on the ground. Suet, which is various items such as corn, peanut butter, oatmeal, raisins, or others encased in animal or vegetable fat, is a great source of food used to attract woodpeckers, wrens, warblers, catbirds, bluebirds, pine warblers, and others. This is usually placed in a wire basket and hung from trees. Wild bird feeding is often done over the winter, especially since this is the time birds have the hardest time finding adequate food. Once you start feeding in the winter, it should be continued until spring, as this becomes a dependable source of food for many foraging birds. So let's hope this helps you with your wild bird feeding endeavors this winter. For more information on the bird feeding or other wildlife interests, contact our Extension Center. Now, let's take a look at the other holiday plants. Besides the poinsettias and Christmas trees, there are other holiday plants that traditionally have been used during the Christmas season. Some of these holiday plants were, and still are today, used for their decorating or flavoring abilities. These other holiday plants of our nation's past consist of holly, ivy, running cedar, mistletoe, rosemary, and a few others. Holly, of course, with its bright red, beautiful berries, has served as a choice decoration since our nation's beginning. Just think about it. It's one of the only bright, colorful plants in our woodlands during the winter season. Ivy was used as decoration, often mixed with other greens for Christmas. Before our nation's birth, ivy was used in Europe to help celebrate the winter solstice, or the shortest day of the year, in late December. Also, ivy symbolizes friendship and is a hardy inside decorative plant. Running cedar, traditionally called Christmas green in many southern states, was used as wreaths or as fireplace hearth decorations during the last several hundred years. It is a vibrant green, ground-running, evergreen type of plant that is technically a club moss. It grows well in shaded undergrowths of wooded areas and can be found in most of the states within the United States. Mistletoe in the United States grows mainly in the southern states up in a variety of trees. It is one of the oldest holiday plants we use. It has many stories of origin, but one strong possibility is the Scandinavian traditional tale. So the story goes, Balder, the god of peace, was killed by an arrow made from mistletoe. The other gods were so sad that they petitioned that he be restored to life. When he did revive, the goddess of love decreed that anyone who passed under mistletoe was to be kissed, to illustrate that now mistletoe would be a symbol of love. Rosemary. Rosemary is a very hardy herb that can be cut and used even during the cold winter months. It has one of the nicest legends of origin. Looking at Rose and Mary, the story goes that the plant once had small white rose-type flowers, but the Virgin Mary laid her blue cloak on the plant and the flowers then took on the soft blue hue of her sacred garment. In the 1700s and 1800s, the rosemary plant was very popular in Christmas decorations, but somehow it lost its popularity in the 1900s. But this evergreen plant is starting to make a comeback in wreaths as holiday topiaries. So here you go, some history and reason to use these native plants of our forests and fields this Christmas season. Our forefathers and ancestors used them during the founding of our country, so why can't we? Don't put it off. Slip on your boots and get out there in the woods, hunting a secret green treasure that can spice up your Christmas season. Also, it will give you a story to tell that small grandchild, niece, or nephew on Christmas Day. Now for lawn care during the month of December. There's really only one thing, but it is very important to do as far as lawn care goes, and that is to keep your tree leaves from collecting on your lawn. If leaves are on the lawn, they basically smother your grass. They cannot carry out that photosynthesis and fulfill the needs of the roots of the grass growing, and they typically die or thin out, become very unhealthy. So really, you need to keep your tree leaves from collecting on your lawn. And then in the meantime, add these to a compost pile or use them on your garden somewhere useful instead of just burning those leaves. Now for additional tasks for the month of December. We need to put pine needles or wheat or barley straw over your strawberry plants to protect their crowns. Also, Keep your cut Christmas tree in water throughout the holiday season. Place heavy mulch on freeze-prone shrubs and perennials if not already done so. Also, trim back your dead perennials if you haven't done that in a previous month, like November or October. Clean those perennials up. Also, remember your unique garden gifts for your garden enthusiast friends, such as hand pruners, garden gloves, garden spade, quality hand trowel, and much more. Let's now talk a little bit about Christmas tree care. By now, most of you have gotten your live Christmas tree. If you've put up that artificial or fake one, shame on you. There's truly nothing like the smell and natural appearance of a fresh Fraser fir, Norway spruce, white pine, or other live tree. That penetrating fir odor when you walk into the house and the look of that natural tree beautifully decorated truly gets everyone into the Christmas spirit. Besides, by using a live tree, you are supporting local growers here in western North Carolina. If you haven't placed your live tree in the stand yet, do make sure you make a new straight cut on the base of the tree. As you cut the bottom few limbs to fit into the stand that you're using, use those limbs to accent your hearth or table arrangements. Be sure you use a stand that will hold at least 1 gallon of water. Do check your stand's water level frequently. A fresh tree with a new cut can take up to 1 gallon of water on the first day. Usually after that, it takes about a quart a day. But keep checking the level and don't let it dry out. Just fresh water is what works best. No preservatives or additives in the water is needed. To keep the tree from drying out and to prevent any safety issues, place your tree away from all heat sources such as heating vents, sunny windows, fireplaces, and wood stoves. Also, never overload your circuit with too many strings of lights, stars, or electrical gadgets, and always turn off your Christmas tree lights when leaving home or going to bed. For additional help with your Christmas tree or other holiday plant, contact our Alexander Extension Center. Merry Christmas! Well, we hope you've enjoyed our garden calendar. If you have questions, call us at 632-4451 or visit us at our website at alexanderextension.com, where there's lots of helpful information and events, and you can also sign up for a monthly newsletter there. That's alexanderextension.com, or stop by and visit us at the Alexander County Service Center at 151 West Main Avenue. Hope to hear from you soon.